Right then, let's have a look at Dropbox, shall we? Now, the first thing you want to do is go to the website to download it. Now, I'm going to use good old Chrome to actually go to the website, and the website is fairly simple at Dropbox.com. When you're at Dropbox.com, you will be basically presented with this. Now, this gives you the opportunity to sign up, or over here on the left hand side to actually download the application. Now, a little bit of sort of a word about downloading. It's perfectly okay to download this, and you'll need to download it as an app or indeed as a bit of software for anywhere that you want to actually use Dropbox, unless you actually use their web-based one, which we'll come to a bit later on. Now, the Dropbox needs to actually be installed on at least one machine to get you actually started syncing your folders. The idea with Dropbox is it's basically a virtual USB stick. It allows you to have a 2 GB or more if you want to pay for the extra space online as a sort of on cloud computing. So whatever you put into your Dropbox on your computer actually ends up being uploaded to the cloud and available to any other devices, or indeed you, if you actually log into it. It also allows you to share content. Now, that can be to other people that use Dropbox, or indeed to anybody else that wants to use QR codes, for example, but a bit more of that later on. So the first thing you need to do is think about what laptop, desktop, whatever it is that you're using, your main sort of place that you want to sync things back and forth from. A good way of going about it is actually to have maybe your home laptop that you use quite a bit, maybe you use the work on at the weekend, and then your work one, and have both of them have Dropbox installed on them and have an account which is logged in on both of them. What this does is, if it's an account is exactly the same on both, anything you put into your folder on one automatically appears on the other. So, downloading it is fairly straightforward. You click on the button, it'll start downloading, as you can see down here. I'm using Google Chrome. I've already got this a couple of times, so I can cancel these downloads, and it will allow you to actually install it. Running the installation is quite straightforward, and it takes you through the installation and creation of your account. That's all very, very straightforward, and to anybody that's installed a bit of software, that wouldn't be a problem. Bit of a warning though as far as actually doing it in school is concerned. Obviously you will need administration rights or administrator rights in order to install it, so you might need to get your IT administrator or somebody who has those sort of privileges on your network to actually install it, and if in doubt obviously ask. But it's fairly straightforward. It's a free bit of software, so you shouldn't have a problem in getting that done. Just point out to them that again there's no license agreement, there's no need for the school to actually pay out for it. Once actually installed, you'll see a couple of things on your actual laptop that you're using. The first thing is this Dropbox here, which is a shortcut. And also you should see this down here, which is Dropbox, which is in your quick start bar. Now, looking at that one, if I click on that, you can see that we've got a number of features in here. First of all, you've got a little bit of a bar just there that says I've used 4.3% of my 2 GB of storage. Now, 2 GB is the standard free storage that you get with Dropbox, which is quite substantial when you think about it, and should be more than enough for most people. But if you do want to buy a bit more, you can do, and you know there are options to do that. But if you think of it as a USB device, unless you're actually uploading files that are bigger than 2 GB in size at any one time, it's fairly straightforward to be able to delete anything and then reuse the space. You've got that, and you've got the website, so you can easily launch the website, which I showed you previously. You get an image of the previously actually changed files. You can pause syncing, and I'll talk about that again a little while longer. Preferences and the Help Center. But what we want to have a look at is this one that's highlighted at the top, which is the Open Dropbox folder. Now, when you open it up, what this does is it actually opens up the folder that is on your desktop, and you can find that quite easily. If you go into your computer, you can see just here the Dropbox folder is already added as a particular place that you can go to. So if I click on there, it's exactly the same as what I've got just here. Now, the Dropbox is a synced folder. It's a webbed synced folder. Now you can see here I've got this test one which I can show you. I might actually sort of get rid of that one and then recreate it. So if I can get rid of that, it's quite slim to just delete it as you would do normally. Yes, we'll delete it and it's gone. And just like that, you can also create a new folder in exactly the same way. I'm again going to call this test click on it, and you can see there, for those that are sharp-eyed, there's a little blue icon which turns to a green tick to show that this is now synced. In other words, that folder has now been created online as well, and also is available to any other devices where your Dropbox account is actually located. Remember, you do actually have to have an internet connection for them to actually talk back and forth, but as long as there's an internet connection, it'll do it. So inside that folder, anything I stick into here will automatically be available through Dropbox. So if I go to my pictures, I can grab a picture and put it into there. So if I just go down to my Learning Without Frontiers folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this untitled one just here, and I'm just going to drag it into there, or I can actually just right click and copy it if I don't want to change it completely, and paste it into that folder as well. So there we go. Now you can see that if I come back out again, that's now synced. You can see it goes from a blue to a green to show that it's actually been synced online and for everything else. Now what this means is that that image is now should be available if you've installed Dropbox on your work computer and you actually went into the Dropbox folder. It might take a little bit of syncing, but it would basically be there. What you have to think of with the syncing part is that when it's connected to the internet, that folder automatically goes to Dropbox. So is there any changes? Have you deleted anything? Have you changed the name of anything? Have you uploaded anything? And what it does is it makes the folder that is on this laptop here exactly the same on any other device. Now this is very, very useful when you think about it for iPads, your iPhone. All of these folders, these files are now available. So there's no need to plug the actual iPad in. There's no need to actually sync it. It's all there automatically. As long as it's got an internet connection, it's there and it's ready. And you can also save images to the actual Dropbox folder on the actual iPad, iPhone, Android tablet, whatever it might be, and they're automatically available. Very, very useful indeed. So that's about the general sort of basics of creating folders, getting Dropbox installed. What I would do now to just get a feel for it is, if you've downloaded it and you're at home and you're trying this one out, then obviously try and create a folder, try uploading different bits and pieces. You can then go to the website and actually log in. So you can log in once you've got an account. You can actually log in and you should be able to see whatever you've created. So if we go in here, and I should now be able to see that particular folder. Let's try that again. And you should be able to see the actual folder that's been created. It takes a second just to bring it up, and there you go. We've got the test folder that I've just created, and it has got the image in there. Now, of course, obviously, I can get that on my iPhone, whatever it is. And also, later on, as I will show, you can actually create, you can see here you've got the copy URL for that particular one. You can actually create or test QR codes with what we have here, so that QR codes will work with whatever you create in Dropbox. This allows you to share things beyond those devices that you've actually got your account set up on. So have a go with creating Dropbox. If you're on one of the computers in our training center, you can actually change the account by just clicking on here and clicking Preferences. And under Account, you'll see that it will say that at the moment, as you can see here, mark@fluxvd.co.uk. Only this computer will give you a warning box. Doesn't matter about that. Now you've already created a Dropbox account. What it will do is it will bring up a page and say, do you want to create a new account and therefore create a new folder, or would you like to actually use the existing one, as it will hopefully pop up in but a moment. What I'd do is do it through the website, try this one out, and then actually log in with yours, try creating a folder and then actually syncing something to it. So being around, there we go, Dropbox things. Don't have an account, you can click next, it'll allow you to create one. I already do have one, and if you've been on the website, you will. You put in your details, and what it'll it'll do is it will create the account on that machine. So you can log in and out of the different things. And there we go. I'm going to skip the tour. It'll take you all the way through it. So that's the first lesson in using Dropbox. Have a little bit of a play with it. Check it out. Sync something up, and we'll come on to the next bit where we'll talk about a bit more about QR codes as well.